Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're looking at the craziest things bought by billionaires.
First up, you guys know what a watch is, right? It's one of those silly single-function devices that people used to use to tell time.
A lot of people don't actually know how to read a watch or like a clock, which is quite concerning to me. I feel like everyone should be able to do that. I mean, to be fair, I've got an Apple Watch, so like I don't actually need to read a clock. Maybe I should get a normal watch.
Well, feast your eyes on the most expensive pocket watch ever purchased. This is the Patek Philippe Henry Graves Super Complication Watch.
Yeah, that does look complicated, and I can guarantee it probably costs millions of pounds. I don't understand why you would spend that amount of money on like a watch like that. I mean, like it literally only just tells the time. I love how like teenagers flex with Gucci. These billionaires are flexing with pocket watches worth like millions.
It's called a Super Complication Watch because the Swiss luxury watch manufacturer claims that it is, quote, the world's most complicated timepiece.
How is it the world's most complicated timepiece? Obviously there's a reason for it, but like it literally is just like a clock. It's like a watch. How can that be complicated? What does this do that other watches don't do?
Commissioned by American businessman Henry Graves in 1939, the gold-cased watch contains 920 individual parts.
920 individual parts? Why has a watch got that amount of parts? I'm assuming it's got like loads of different clocks on it. I'm gonna be completely honest, if I had a watch and it had loads of different clocks, I wouldn't know how to read it because I'd be thinking, oh god, which one do I read? Why do I need to know like the time of like another country?
Including 70 jewels, all of them handcrafted on a tiny scale. The piece also boasts 24 individual functions, including sunrise and sunset time displays, lunar phases, and a star chart.
But why does a pocket watch need that? Also, if we go back, did you see how thick that thing was? That looks very chunky, like that looks very big. Whenever I think of like a pocket watch, I think of like something that's literally like the size of like these AirPods, really small. That pocket watch right there would not fit in a pocket. It's like the size of a baked potato.
While businessman Graves paid $15,000 for the timepiece back in 1939, or the equivalent of $202,000 today,
that's crazy how much money has changed. 15,000 back in like the 1930s or whenever he bought it is now worth 200,000. Why is that? Is that because of inflation? I mean, to be fair, whenever my parents were growing up, they could literally buy a house for like £10,000. Nowadays, that same house would be worth like $500,000.
The Patek Philippe Super Complication Watch was purchased by an anonymous buyer at an auction in 2014 for the ridiculous sum of $24 million.
$24 million on a pocket watch just like that. It was definitely a Chinese billionaire. Like, I'm telling you right now, these people have way too much money. Where would you even put it? Like, would you put it in like a little stand in your house? I'm telling you, these billionaires can make a museum with all the expensive stuff they bought.
Okay, next up. Let's just say that for the sake of argument, you're a multi-billionaire who also happens to love luxury sports cars. So how many do you think you'd have in your garage?
If this is who I think it is, basically this man is like the leader of a country and he's got like thousands of cars and he literally hasn't driven most of them. I can also guarantee you a lot of his country is probably suffering and like their parents don't have enough money for food and he's living in a big palace with thousands of cars being a billionaire.
Well, meet Haji Hassan al-Bolkiah, aka the Sultan of Brunei, a tiny country smaller than the US state of Delaware in Southeast Asia. This guy loves luxury vehicles so much that he owns, hold on to your hat folks, somewhere between 5,000 and 7,000 of the world's rarest, finest, fastest, and most expensive cars.
And why does he need that amount of cars? Also, like, the land that he rules literally isn't that big. It is very small. It's like the same size as one state in America. Yet he's got this amount of money. It's quite crazy how some people out there literally have billions at their disposal. And this man spends loads of it on, like, thousands of cars. Also, I'm pretty sure he gets the majority of his money from oil. What happens if that oil, like, dries up one day? He ain't gonna have money for more cars.
Among the collection, over 400 Ferraris, 24 Lamborghinis, and 600 Rolls-Royces, including one Rolls dubbed the Star of India, which holds the title of the world's most expensive car at a price tag of $14 million.
And this is probably pocket money to him. Like, this man, literally so much money, this probably doesn't affect him. Why does he need this amount of money and this amount of cars? It genuinely does make me sad because I can guarantee you there will be people in his country that are probably suffering. These leaders are so corrupt, they literally live like a Disney princess, and like the people of their country literally like are in poverty. They suffer.
So how much total has the Sultan shelled out on all 7,000 cars? Topspeed.com estimates their total value at $5 billion.
But why do you need that amount of cars for £5 billion? Wait, what I said just didn't make any sense. I meant to say, why do you need that amount of cars and why do you need to spend that amount of money and stuff? $5 billion. That's literally more than what Kim K is worth in like the whole Kardashian-Jenner family. And he spent that just on cars. I can guarantee he's probably got helicopters, jets, palaces. I'm telling you, these people are corrupt.
The Sultan's total net worth is only $20 billion. He spent 25% of his net worth on cars.
I mean, let's be realistic, he's probably worth 10 times that amount. Like, a lot of these people will hide a lot of their money. Like, they are corrupt, keep that in mind. They'll probably have it in like offshore accounts or like hide it somehow to like avoid tax. By the sounds of it, he's done with his money, but I can guarantee he's definitely got more than 20 billion.
Our next dumb purchase was made by American rap artist Brian Birdman Williams. Okay, full disclosure, he's not actually a billionaire. He's just a mere humble millionaire.
I mean, I know of him, kind of. I've looked his net worth up before. He's like worth hundreds of millions. I mean, it's basically a billionaire. Like, he can live like a billionaire.
But this purchase is so dumb, we couldn't help but include it on this list. Anyway, in 2016, he came under fire for spending 1 million smackaroos on, are you ready for it? A toilet made of gold.
Yet again, why does he need a gold toilet? I'd be so scared of like sitting in a toilet. Imagine if you drop your phone on the toilet and it literally dents to gold. A lot of people seem to think gold is like rock solid. It is kind of soft. Like, I'm pretty sure if you do bite it, you would be able to leave like a mark. Imagine someone like bites a piece of the gold off the toilet and like sells it for money.
When Birdman boasted about his golden throne purchase on Instagram, some rap fans labeled it as a low blow, stating that the absurd flex of wealth was ill-timed considering Birdman was in the middle of a $51 million lawsuit with fellow rap artist Lil Wayne.
Okay, so he spent $1 million on a golden toilet whenever he's in the middle of like a $51 million lawsuit. I mean, he might have to sell that toilet. Also, what I've noticed is that like rappers will constantly flaunt their money online. It's like SoundCloud rappers are always in designer clothes, but like they don't actually make that much money. That's why I never believe anything in social media, because a lot of it is fake and like it just ain't real. Like, it's literal fake money.
Moving on. This guy is Sheikh Hamad bin Hamdan Al Nahyan, and he belongs to the royal family of the United Arab Emirates, one of the richest families on the planet by far. With a net worth of $22.5 billion, the guy whose nickname is the Rainbow Sheikh has made plenty of outlandish purchases over the years. For instance, he once had a pyramid built to house 200 of his favorite cars.
But why? Why do you need a 200 pyramid car system thingy? Imagine being born into one of them families. Like, you're literally set for life. But I can guarantee a lot of his money could be put into like actual work to help people in this country. How much was he worth? All I know is like billions. That's like what I read. Imagine having your own pyramid for your cars. Come on.
However, none of those purchases is possibly as dumb as what he did on his very own private island. Not satisfied with simply owning a private island, Hamad bin Hamdan Al Nahyan decided to hire people to actually etch his name into the ground of the island.
I've heard of that before. Yeah, basically they like wrote his name in the sand. You can see right there they wrote Hamad, but like the water doesn't even go halfway through the name. I'm pretty sure they like scrapped the project after a while. Why would you do that? Like, how much would that cost to do? It was literally a fail as well because like the water wasn't able to go through his name, so he just wasted a load of money.
According to British tabloid The Sun, the letters are more than half a mile tall in some places. The whole thing is so large you can actually see it from Google Earth. Though no official number has been put on the cost, Business Insider estimates the project cost roughly $22 million.
$22 million so that you can write your name in sand and then it can be seen from Google Maps if you literally zoom in far enough. Why would you do that? Yet again, that money could have been used to help people. It could have been used for cancer treatment, for homelessness, for hungry people. But he spent $22 million on that. I mean, he is worth billions, so to him, that's literally like a couple pounds. That's quite scary, isn't it? Like, these people genuinely have too much money.
Just a hop, skip, and a jump away from the UAE is Saudi Arabia, where another wealthy royal, Saudi Prince Al-Walid, allegedly made our next featured dumb purchase, a Mercedes SL600. Oh, but it wasn't just any Mercedes SL600. No, this one just happened to be covered in diamonds and cost him $4.8 million.
We've seen this before in another video. A Mercedes, $4.8 million with like loads of diamonds over it. I mean, he's not like the other guy who spent $15 million on a Rolls Royce. So maybe he needs to step up his car game.
The vehicle, decorated by Garson DAD Luxury Automotive Accessories, was adorned with 300,000 Swarovski Swarovski diamonds. Apparently, Al-Walid was so possessive of his diamond-encrusted Mercedes that he would charge people $1,000 just to touch it.
So he's worth billions and he spent millions in that, yet he charges people to look and touch the car. Wouldn't it be really hard to drive? Like, eventually all the crystals are gonna fall off. I wonder how much it actually costs for them to like make it. A lot of like the crystals that people will use for like their nails or like anything are like usually fake. They're like the plastic gems you get in like a kid's toy set. So do you reckon they just put them gems all over his car and like it cost him like 100,000 to make, and they just like made like 4.7 million in profit? I mean, that's a smart business move.
But here's what's interesting. The Saudi prince himself recently claimed that he never owned the car, stating that reports of his association with a luxurious Mercedes were nothing but rumors. According to Forbes magazine, Al-Walid has a track record of overstating his wealth, knowing that why would he deny having made this dumb purchase?
So he's got a history of overestimating as well. I mean, he's wealthy. Why does he need to say he's more wealthy than what he is? Plus, they've got video and photo proof of them cars, so it obviously is his car. I mean, he is in like a really rich Saudi Arabia family, so either way, he's probably not going to get taken to jail if he's committing crimes. I'm telling you, the rich are like above us. Like, they can do stuff that we can't do. They get away with it.
Luxury ice. A California company called Glace claims that its ice cubes are a lot higher quality than ordinary ice cubes.
Shut up, it is just ice. I wonder how much they're going to charge for it. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's different types of ices. Like, if I go to Nando's, they've got the best ice ever. I've got a few favorite types of ices. I kind of like when ice is like crunchy, but it's kind of like a cube which has got like air in the middle, so you can like crunch it. I know that sounds like crazy, but I like that type of ice, and I like the ice out of Nando's. I'm actually trying to think in my head, is there ice that I don't like? Probably like really hard ice that is 100% ice. I kind of like my ice with a bit of air. What I just said made zero sense whatsoever.
The company's website claims that regular ice cubes may contain up to 150 impurities and carcinogens, which can contaminate the flavors of your drink.
Let's be realistic. Does it actually like change the flavor of the drink? I mean, McDonald's Diet Coke is different because they water it down, and that's why Loki like it. Oh my god, that's what it is. I love McDonald's ice. Whenever I get a Diet Coke and it's got ice in it, I actually enjoy the ice more than the Diet Coke. It sounds crazy, but I'm just like that.
Their ice cubes are elegant and pure. That's why a bag of 50 glazed luxury ice cubes costs a whopping $325.
$325 for 50 ice cubes. How much is that per ice cube? Probably like $1 or $2. Why would you spend that amount on that? I feel like they're just saying that like their ice is better. It's kind of like whenever you got an essay and you've got like a word count you need to get to. You use like all these big fancy words and like drag out the sentence and like the story. That's basically what they've done whenever they're talking about their ice.
Let's do the math real quick here. Okay, 325 divided by 50. Let's see. Holy moly, that's $6.50 per ice cube.
Oh my god, that's more than what I thought it was. I was thinking it was like $1 or $2. $6.50 for one piece of ice. I mean, billionaires obviously buy it because like the company's in business. They probably buy like thousands of dollars worth of ice because they genuinely think the ice will taste different. Honestly, like if you slap like a random logo on something and say it's worth this amount of money, these rich people will buy it.
That's nearly as much as the cocktail that is keeping cold. What do you guys think? Is this a reasonable investment? Sound off in the comments.
I mean, you don't need to say it in the comments. We can all tell it's a dumb thing. How much does a drink cost in Nando? I'm pretty sure a emptyless glass is like £1 or £2, maybe 3 at the max. So you can literally get 2 glasses in Nando's for 1 piece of ice. I don't understand it. Like, this is just rich people stuff.
Everybody here has heard of Bill Gates, right? The Microsoft founder worth over $100 billion? Of course you have. Gates once paid $30 million for a journal kept by famed inventor Leonardo da Vinci.
I actually heard about this. Like, Leonardo da Vinci was obviously a artist. Like, he drew stuff and painted stuff. He also had like a journal that like he like wrote in. Bill Gates bought it for $30 million. Was he not also dyslexic, or was that Picasso? I'm telling you, I don't know who any of these like old painters are, but everyone seems to know them.
We're not even here to talk about that. We are here to talk about the fact that in 2017, Bill Gates spent $80 million buying up 25,000 acres of barren Arizona desert land.
And there's obviously a reason why he bought that. I mean, a lot of billionaires have been buying a lot of land recently in America. Maybe they knew something we don't know. I mean, one day I do want to buy an island, not in like a Jeffrey Epstein way, just like a wee island outside Ireland. There's actual islands that like you can literally buy and like live on. Like you can build little houses on them. Some of them already have houses. It's not like a big land. It's like, I don't know, like less than a mile. It's basically like 4 or 5 streets long and 4 or 5 streets wide. Like you got your own wee island and they only cost like £1 million. I love how like they only cost like $1 million, like that's so little. But I mean, like for an island, that's quite cheap, isn't it? I mean, Jeffrey Epstein was able to buy one. I wouldn't be surprised if other billionaires have their own islands.
Kind of sounds like you can't get any dumber than that, now can you? But wait, here's the thing. Gates says he bought the land just 45 minutes outside of Phoenix to build his own smart city. Plans for the new city, which will be named Belmont, include 80,000 residential units, 3,800 acres for office, commercial, and retail space, and 470 acres for public schools.
I wish I was rich enough to be able to buy like some land and literally create my own city. It's gonna be called Phoenix. How long is it gonna take? Like obviously it's gonna take a long time. By the time it's done, he's probably gonna be dead. But that's quite cool, isn't it? Maybe people are gonna do that in the future. That's maybe why all the billionaires are buying land. They want to make their own cities.
According to a press release, Gates plans to build, quote, a forward-thinking community with a communication and infrastructure spine that embraces cutting-edge technology designed around high-speed digital networks, data centers, new manufacturing technologies, and distribution models.
I mean, to me, that just sounds like a load of words. I don't understand anything. Basically, it just sounds like technology and like futuristic. But the thing is it gonna actually look how they plan for it to look? What happens if there's a power cut? Like the whole city's gonna shut down.
Okay, so you've heard of Bill Gates, but have you heard of a guy named Larry Ellison? He's the executive chairman of tech giant the Oracle Corporation and has a net worth of over $69 billion.
Oh my god, this is the first time I've ever heard of this man. I've never heard of him before. He's a tech giant, so like he basically owns like a big tech company. He's worth $69 billion. That is a funny number and a lot of money.
This guy has a couple of lavish, over-the-top purchases under his belt. Heck, the guy owns a $300 million private island.
Okay, now that is Jeffrey Epstein in steroids. I really hope he ain't doing what Jeffrey Epstein was doing, because he should be thrown in jail if he is. That's what I want to do, just on like a much smaller scale. A $300 million island. I'm telling you, it would actually be quite nice, especially if they're in like the tropical areas. Because like they've got an island with their own land. Like they literally own the land. You know, like they can build like their own wee houses and facilities and stuff. I basically just want like a wee island so I can put like a few cottages, so it means that I can like live on my own.
Perhaps most outrageous though is the fact that Ellison owns not one, but 2 military fighter jets.
Why does a billionaire have a military fighter jet? What happens if he literally flew it up and like wanted to bomb somewhere? I mean, that sounds sketchy. Why is he getting military fighter jets? Like, what is he planning?
Yep, he bought a Marchetti S-211, a training aircraft designed in Italy, and a decommissioned MiG-29, a twin-engine jet fighter aircraft designed in the old Soviet Union.
Okay, decommission means they don't make them anymore, like the Rover. How is he able to get his hands on them? Like, surely they should be in like a museum or ruined. That's quite scary, isn't it? Like, he's literally flying around in like a fighter jet. I'm telling you, don't give these billionaires fighter jets, because they'll try and take each other out.
Which the US government has refused him permission to import. Talk about spending money on stuff you can't even use.
I mean, yeah, well, there's obviously a good reason why the US government won't let him import it. Why would you buy a literal fighter jet that was used in the Soviet Union times? That just sounds like stupidity and like something sketchy happening to me. Guys, World War III literally nearly happened between Russia and Ukraine. We don't need this billionaire getting his hands in fighter jets.
We don't know how much Ellison, who is a licensed pilot, paid personally for these military jets, but we do know that the Italian Marchetti S-211 is valued at $3.4 million per unit, and the Russian MiG-29 is valued at a whopping $22 million per unit.
$22 million and $3.4 million? Wow, that's a lot of money. But yet again, that's just like pocket change, and like that ain't a lot. If he were to fly up in like the sky in them jets, what would happen? Does he need to like schedule a time to fly? Imagine like the US, whatever, like their security systems pick up a Russian jet. They're gonna be thinking, oh my god, what's going on here?
In 2013, the man behind electric vehicle giant Tesla and commercial space exploration company SpaceX made the rather unusual purchase of an old car from the 70s.
I think I've heard of this before. I don't know what car he got, but all I know is that it was very expensive. Elon Musk is on his way to becoming like the richest person in the world, or I'm pretty sure he beat Jeffrey Bezos for like a while, and then like Jeff Bezos beat him again. But I mean, he's still a billionaire.
Sounds dumb, right? Oh, but this wasn't just any car. This car was also a submarine.
A submarine car, so like a car that can literally turn into a submarine. Oh my god, what would you literally do? Like, imagine if someone was chasing you in a car and you literally like run into the ocean and like turn your car into a submarine. It seems like a pretty small submarine to me.
Well, at least that's how it was depicted in the 1977 James Bond film, The Spy Who Loved Me. Musk purchased the movie memorabilia, a car known as a Lotus E-Spirit, at a London auction for just shy of $1 million.
Oh my god, $1 million for that. I mean, it doesn't actually turn it into like a submarine, so he basically just spent £1 million on like a car that was in the movie. I mean, I bet you the person who was selling him that car is happy.
Meet Australian mining magnate Clive Barker. Mr. Barker here has made what we believe to be the dumbest purchase by a billionaire in history.
I mean, that could be many things. A lot of these millionaires and billionaires have spent stupid amounts of money. So what other dumb things could he possibly buy?
In February of 2013, at a press conference in New York, Barker announced plans that he was going to build a modern-day replica of a world-famous ship. What ship, you ask? Why, none other than the RMS Titanic.
I was thinking in my head, he's gonna try and build the Titanic, isn't he? Fun fact, here's like a little story about my family and like my history. My great-great-great-great-great-grandfather was one of like the greats, I don't know how many ago, but he was actually the chief timekeeper of the Titanic. Obviously, the Titanic was created in Belfast. I was born in Belfast. A lot of stuff got built over in Belfast. I don't live directly in Belfast. I live very close, like quite beside it. But like my great-great-grandfather was the timekeeper of the Titanic. He basically made sure everyone turned up in time to like build. That's quite crazy, isn't it? Like I've literally got family history on the boat. I don't think he went on it and died, or I hope he didn't. Either way, he died like a long time ago.
Apparently a huge fan of the most doomed ship in history, he hopes to recreate the Titanic as closely as possible with its familiar external and internal appearances.
Well, if he wants to recreate it, shouldn't he just like bring it to Northern Ireland and build it in Belfast? That's what you should do if you genuinely want it to be a recreation. I mean, I don't know how much the ship costs, obviously a lot. Are they gonna make more ships like that in the future? Like, maybe they're not, I don't know. Would that not be like kind of offensive to people who like died in the Titanic? Maybe we should just leave the Titanic ship in the past. Let's not try and recreate it.
According to Palmer, the new ship would be 883 feet long, weigh 55,800 gross tons, and carry 2,435 passengers and 900 crew members.
That is just a load of statistics, and I've got a question. I've always wondered this, you know how like ships are in the sea, like big boats? Why don't they just sink? If you literally have something that's super heavy and put it in the ocean, theoretically it should sink. I'm telling you, ships, boats, and the ocean are incredible. Like, they genuinely fascinate me. I've just got so many questions about them.
And what, pray tell, does he call this masterpiece? Why, Titanic 2, of course. The estimated cost of the ship that will be an exact replica of the ocean liner that's been at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean since 1912 is said to be between $425 and $567 million.
Wow, that is a lot of money to recreate a boat that sunk literally 100 years ago. I mean, I don't know if he's ever gonna do it. It probably won't be done by the time he's alive because he looked like an older man. Imagine he literally dies like a month before it set sail. And then imagine if it like sunk again. That would be terrifying.
Oh, and there will be one major difference from the original. This ship will have enough lifeboats for everybody on board.
I mean, that's good. At least if it does go to sink, people will actually be able to survive. I just hope that like it doesn't sink, you know. Let's hope it doesn't hit an iceberg and sink to the bottom of the sea. Anyways, guys, that is the end of the video. That was some of the craziest and dumbest things billionaires have spent money on. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, press the big red subscribe button, and I'll see you all in my next video.